So if we look at, let's just do for a moment, let's look at painting for a second. Okay, so we're going to go whoop, snap to the top and going to, oops. No. So here is your office. Now, what you can do is you grab this little bucket tool, right? And actually, first, let's add some carpet. Ooh, carpet. And ooh, how about that? That's a pretty interesting looking carpet. Like that. Now you got, yeah, okay, no, I can't look at that. Okay, here we go. Kind of nice gray carpet, if you like. Kind of squishy. And you can do the same thing with the walls, right? So if I go color and I pick a color for the wall, let's just say, you know, if you want to go for a nice kind of weird blue, right? You can click on each wall and it gives you different shades because it's trying to give you some sort of color shading, right? Now, the trick here is, like, sure, it's nice, you can get that kind of nice idea, but say you decide, well, what if we wanted, you know, to change the color to say like this god awful color here, right? No, there you go, that god awful color. Let's go, oh, no. You have to do all this clicking. Bit of a hassle, but what you would do is you pick just one color and you make sure you remember which one it is. So it's actually probably best if you choose something at the top, right? But now you have that color, you can edit that material. Oops, click edit. And now if I can change it, and you see, it changes all the walls that are painted that color. So you can say, you know what, if for some reason you suddenly became a Leafs fan, look at that. So you can next kind of a blue, get a little bit brighter because, you know, the future's so bright. And now everything's, oops, oh, there you go. A nice blue wall. Handy, eh? You notice I didn't paint that, so I didn't select it because that's my leftover duct. To delete that though, I'd have to actually delete the individual lines. Now watch, as soon as I delete that line, that is no longer a face or a polygon unto itself, so it just gets joined in with everything else. But the line's still there, so you have to delete the remaining line. Bonus lesson there. Okay, so now we've done a little bit of painting. Let's have some fun. All right, this is where we can do some real cool stuff, where we go to 3D warehouse and you get models. Cool. So here you can say, you know, you can type for anything, like anything. Like, how about a tank? Boom. Cool. Hey, oh, here we go. How about a Panzer tank? Yeah. Let's put a Panzer tank in your basement. So you hit download model, and what you can do is you can either load it directly into your SketchUp model, or if you hit no, it'll save the file to your hard drive, and then in SketchUp you import it through like file import or something like that. But this is easier. Yep. And boom, there you go. You have a Panzer tank in your basement. It doesn't quite fit, but hey, you know what? That's kind of fun. Now, it's actually, the tank and everything else was made in Google SketchUp as well, and then what you do is you just group things. And so this is a good little point, a lesson here. I can now move that tank, right, and, you know, forward or backward, or put it various places in your basement, and it doesn't mess up the walls. Whereas you may notice that if I were to go out here, and I'm just going to build a quick box with my pool tool. If I were then to try and move it, it doesn't move as a box, right? It kind of moves in bits. And then the worst thing is that if I were to extend this into the wall, right, and through, now suddenly it is part of your basement. I can't just simply delete it, because if I hit my select tool with the space bar and I do something like this, then there's like pieces all over the place and it's a bit of a mess, right? So what you would do, and let's just use undo to undo my way out of that. Whenever you have something that you've made that you want to move around your basement without it like sticking to your basement, and that's kind of like the term, is you take your little select tool, you highlight the whole thing, right? And then you would edit. Where is it? Make a group. There you go. And now that it's a group, if I hit the M or the move tool, right, it moves as a unit, and then I can move it around the basement, right? Cool. I know it's fun, but we're gonna have to get rid of the tank, so we'll just click on hit delete. Donk. Right? It didn't take any of the walls away, which is kind of fun. We'll go back to 3D warehouse, get models. Let's find a couch. And there's probably a bazillion couches. Yep, there's a bazillion. You can actually, the whole IKEA catalog, I think, is in here too. So you can download wherever you want. But let's just take this one. Sure, why not? Nice red couch. Let's load it directly into our SketchUp model. And click, and it's in. So now it's facing the wrong direction for what we're doing. So you want to grab the rotate tool, which is this thing. And you get this little sort of protractor here. It tells you which direction it's going to rotate. So right now, actually, when it's highlighted, that means it's on one of the axes. So you would click on it, then you draw a line out. I'm not too sure why. And then you rotate it, right? And that's how you would rotate it. In this case, that's probably not a very, well, unless you want a floating couch, but that is not really useful for what we're going to do. So I'm going to hit escape, and we're going to grab the bottom. You know, sometimes you see in this couch, because there's not a lot of flat surface on the top, it would be hard to find a flat surface to click on it. But if I go down with the bottom part of the box, there you go. And it's going to rotate around that. Click. And zoom out a bit. Go to the move tool. And you notice when I hover over one face, it shows me the 4 dots. That's a face that it's going to move, right? So if I click here, then I slide here or slide forward. You can do both at once, but to be honest, it's best if you go one axis at a time, right? Otherwise, you kind of get confused where you are in 3 space and end up with floating couches and stuff like that. So there you go. Look at that. Cool. So there's your basement so far. And what we can do is we can also save objects and load them in. So we'll go look at my basement and we'll pull out some stuff. Here we are. Here's my basement. Look familiar? So I tend to keep different versions. Actually, every time I do a change on my of my basement, I do a save as. Just that way, if ever we need to go back, it's sometimes a little bit easier. So as you can see, I have, like, you know, when I had the fireplace, add the alcove, change top area, you know, lots of that, right? So anyway, here's my basement, and oh, my tools are kind of all over the place here. Not a big deal. If I walk around, you know, here's the fireplace. Oh, there's the chick. And TV room, the rack, kind of, you know, kind of looks like it, right? So not too shabola. So if I click to the top now, and I change my camera to parallel, I can now bring this into, print this out. Now notice there's all sorts of colors, right? You can actually change what we call the face style. So hang on, let's just go back. Let's go back to where we were a second ago. Wahoo! You can do what we can change the face style. So go view, face style. Right now it's shaded with textures, but if I want, I can do monochrome. So that way, good for black and white printing, so it doesn't become a big mess. And also, it's a little lighter, good for sketching on top of. So when we do the top view, right? And camera, there you go, parallel projection. Boom, there we go. Now, I guess I should explain what this starburst thingy is here. That's actually a shape that comes from Dolby, and that is speaker placement. So I kind of put it in the middle. So this is where your left speaker should be, and your right speaker should be in this line, and your rear right, rear left, and your sides. And so what I did here to help me plan with that is I drew that, and it's actually floating in the sky. So if you look at it, that way I see it when I'm look from the top, whoop, but if I'm down below, it doesn't get in my way, right? It's fine. So what I'll do is for now, I can just delete it. Whoop. There you go. And if I were to then change my face style to monochrome, I have a nice printout with all my measurements there. Got a little messy over time. And there you go. So here is my screen. And actually, if I select it, it is an object, right? And now that I've got that object, I'm going to click me to the top. And I'm going to move it with the move tool. I'm going to just take it out of the room. And that is an object that I made. And if you look at it, originally the screen was to be curved. So I just made two curved lines, separated them, extruded, just like how we just did your basement. But in the end, it doesn't matter. So here's your screen. And I'm going to copy it. Whoop. And then we're going to go into Niagara Falls, back to Niagara Falls. And we're going to paste. Paste. Where's paste? Paste. There you go. Okay, there you go. Sitting on the floor. They tend to like to drop things on the floor first. So let's make sure our camera's in parallel projection again for figuring out stuff. And then if I look move, I'm going to move it. Oh, no, up. Come on, up, up. Thank you. Up. And there you go. I need to give this wall a bit of color because it's kind of hard to tell what's going on. We're going to gray. So if you look at the wall, and I'm just going to click something else. There's the screen, and the way I designed it was this is the widescreen space, so that's your standard widescreen TV, and then the extras part is for CinemaScope. Now, I can't edit something, but if I have an object, I actually double click it, and now I am editing just that object. So I'm going to just take my paint bucket again, and I'm just going to choose like a black color, and what I can do is I can then darken that, and now you can see how big a normal widescreen is. All right, if you decide that you're not going to do CinemaScope, and once you're done, you just sort of select anything outside. So there we go. Look at that, all that room. Holy smokes, right? No, I didn't put it quite up, but you can do that. Just don't poke them. Oops, a little easy going there. Oh, I'm gonna have to zoom in. There we go. So, dude, this is how you do it, and it's pretty easy, and have lots of fun pulling stuff in out of the 3D warehouse. Well, if there's anything else you need to know, let me know. That's all I've got for the moment, I think.